Okay, welcome everyone to the Banner Saga factions. This is a turn-based strategy in which Vikings go head-to-head. Squads of 6 Vikings go head-to-head in kind of tactical turn-based combat. This is a competitive multiplayer game, so you're going to be playing against other players, competing for ranking, or just challenging your friends. At the moment, only ranking matches are available. They'll be adding friend mode soon. So when you first boot up the game, you're going to come to this screen. You've got some chat in the corners. You can see what everyone's talking about. And you've got a bunch of buildings in the center here. As you can already see, the art's beautiful. But it's not exactly obvious what to do. But luckily we've got this nice flashing question mark in the corner, which will tell you what each of these buildings are called. And I'll take you through all the important ones for now. The least important one right at the moment is exit factions, but once you've played dozens of games tonight and you're exhausted and need to sleep, you probably want to exit the game, so you can do that by clicking on the watchtower over here. The ones we'll be talking about in this video is the Proving Ground, but in the next videos we're going to be talking about the Great Hall and the Hall of Valor. So the Proving Ground is where you put together your team, your squad of 6 Vikings, and it's also where you upgrade their stats. The Great Hall, which we'll be talking about next, is where you go to face opponents on the field of battle. So that's where you can find ranking games, and it's also where you can match with a friend once that feature's available. And then at the end of the last video, I'll also talk about the Hall of Valor, which is where you can see the rankings of all the other players, as well as your own rankings. So the more games you play, the further you'll move up those rankings to get to the top. And once they have the tournament rankings set up, they'll reset those every week. So even if you're getting started late in the game, you can still get to the top of the rankings for that week if you're dedicated and practice. This game's it's simple to learn, but there's a lot of depth to it, so if you put in the effort, it definitely pays off. There's a lot of room for growth and development. And I gotta say, I'm loving the game so far. So this is the Proving Grounds. This is where you build your team. Now, you've just gotten the game, you haven't booted up before, you have no idea how to play. The first thing you want to do is just put together a nice, simple team. When you're playing your first game, the most important thing is probably to try out all the different classes. At the moment there's 6 advanced classes in the game. There's actually also 4 base classes. Unfortunately I've upgraded my base classes already, so I can't show you how to do that in this video, but I can show you how to put together your first team, a nice solid team. So we're just going to put together one of each class. This might sound like not a very good team, you just got one of each class, but it's strong. You'll watch the game that I play, I'll win, you can win with this team, no problem at all. So we're just going to get one of each class. We're going to get a Thrasher, this blonde Viking here. We're going to get a Siege Archer, my upgraded Siege Archer there. A Sky Striker. So these are the ranged units. They have 5 attack range, nice and strong. We're going to get a Backbiter. So these guys have a nice move that lets them move extra distance and do 1 armor break and strength damage. Then we want the big Vals. So these are the human units down the bottom here. So these are all the units you can choose from. Later on you'll actually be able to buy more units, but at the moment you're limited to the ones that Stoic gives you. So these human units take up 1 square each, 1 tile. These Val actually take up 4 tiles. They're 2 by 2, so they're quite big. So you can use them to block space, but they can also get in the way in battle. So you don't really want too many of them. In fact, at the moment, you're limited to only taking 2 Vals out on the battlefield. I'm going to take a Warhawk. He's got this nice temper stability. He swings around and hits everyone. And a Provoker. So really good defensive guy here. He can actually lock down units as well. So you can see the limit of 4 Vals. You can also only have 4 Axemen and 4 Archers at the moment. It's probably not necessary that they limit the Axemen and the Archers, but that's what they've decided to do, but that's fine for now. We're testing stuff out, but the Val limit's probably important. Okay, so now we've got our team in no particular order. We want to go in and upgrade them now. So to upgrade them, you just click on them. So this is the upgrading screen for this individual character. You can see their name here, you can see all their stats on the left. So you've got their current stats on the left here and their maximum stats on the right. So that's the most amount of points you can put in. Your renown at the top is what you spend to upgrade. For the beta, you're going to be given a bunch of renown, so you can just try out all sorts of crazy stuff. But each character can only have 11 stats added on to their base stats. And for your first team, you want to make sure all the units are fully upgraded. So you want them each with 11 stats. So your total team matchmaking rating is 66. So we're going to upgrade all our units. Now the important thing is not what you put your stats in, but just that you do put stats in. Now I'm going to show you, some stats that you can use. You can use these. I recommend just trying your own stats combinations for yourself. This is just what I like. You play some games, then come back, rebuild your characters once you figure out what all these different stats mean. If you want to figure it out for yourself, you can use the in-game help, and that will tell you what all the different stats do. The important one to learn about is exertion. That one's not exactly obvious. Use the question mark to learn all about that. But I'm just going to give some basic stats. I'm just going to put a few points in. You just click on it a few times. I like armor break. I also want some exertion. And that's good. Nice, solid, balanced Thrasher. He's good to go. Now once you've got your 11 points in, don't click back. You got to confirm. So you got to click confirm. That locks the stats in. So now when I go back to this screen, he's got all 11 points. Now I'll upgrade this siege archer quickly. And you see that if I don't click confirm, I just back out, she's not upgraded. So you got to make sure you confirm those points. Now, I love armor break. It's my favorite stat in the game. I stick it on all my guys, just about, unless they got really high strength. I also really like armor. Armor's generally really strong. That's just my own personal preference. You can play completely differently to me, and I've seen people that have used completely different strategies and absolutely annihilated me with them. So there's lots of variation in what you can do. My Sky Striker, I don't like to give her any armor break. I do like to give her some exertion, and I'm going to put the rest into armor. So just the most important thing is to make sure you guys are all fully upgraded. Every single stat is useful. The only real mistake you can make when upgrading stats is giving yourself a lot of willpower and no way to spend it, no exertion. So make sure if you got lots of willpower, you got at least 1 point in exertion. Backbiters, I love to put lots of strength on them. It combos well with their special ability. You do want to give them some defenses, but they've got really good armor break as well. So I love to max out their armor break. As I said before, I love armor break. Now you're going to see, even though I love armor break, and this guy can get up to 3 armor break, I'm not going to give him any armor break. I want to attack with his strength. He's got really high strength. I want to give him some defenses. I'll give him 1 point of exertion, why not? And I'll confirm that. So I didn't say it before, but you can use this to quickly scroll through all of your units of your current team, rather than going back out and then having to click them again. So it just speeds it up a little bit. Armor break I love on provokers. I like to give them lots of armor. That's like kind of their job. And then I'm going to give them a bit of strength as well. So so you can right click to take that point off. So I'm actually going to give him 1 less armor, 1 more strength with the left click, and then confirm that. So this is the basics of how to put together a team. This starting team will do you well. In the next video I'll show you how to rearrange the initiative order, because this is actually the order that your guys will act in. So you get a turn, your opponent gets a turn, you get a turn, your opponent gets a turn, so on and so forth. But each time it's your turn, it's going to take the next living unit in your initiative order. So you've got to make sure you got these guys in a sensible order, so that way they can work together and coordinate themselves as a team. So I'll show you how to do that, but it won't be until my next series of videos where I'll get into some of the more advanced tips and tricks and strategies, which will really make you think about making sure you've got you guys in the right order so you can maximize their capabilities and get them coordinated. But for now, just upgrade all you guys, make sure you're at 66, they're all at 11, then get in and play some games. Well, I hope you like this game as much as I do so far, and I hope to see you on the battlefield sometime soon. Thanks and goodbye. Make sure you check out the next 2 videos on how to play.